Is everybody there? Let me see if we're live. It's showtime. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Let me see if my D Live is working. Yes, I see Tessa there. Let's hope it works. I do not see my D Live working yet. So, yes, it's working. There we are. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Let me close that. Sorry, always a lot to do. I see Tessa there. Good to see you. I saw UFO Mark. Also good to see you. I saw Sarah. I don't know who else is there because I do not see it in the restream chat yet. It can be a bit later. Hello, everybody. So I'm glad to see you all. I want to start first, do some thank yous for the donations that I had, which is Big Hair Tsunami. Thank you so much for your donation. And Janelle, also thank you for your donation. I just want to mention also that Wednesday is True Reporting. I'm back there with Thomas and Nicole at 7 p.m. EST. And what else? Well, that's really it. And today we have Kaja Kalina, and she is my former, um, what's it called again? Sorry, colon hydro colon therapy therapist. That's it. Oh, we just were talking in Dutch, so now I forget the English, right? So so, as you all know, I've been talking a lot about detoxing, about cleansing, the colon cleanse, and that's the first thing everybody should do, which I hope people will. And that's why she is here to actually explain to us what it's about. And first, we want to know who is Kaja Kalina and how did you start doing what you did? Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, of course. Well, first, thank you very much, Patricia, for inviting me and connecting again. And yes, maybe I will share a little bit of my story, how it started that I became a colon hydrotherapist, because it's not something you just imagine when you're a little girl. I will be a colon hydrotherapist. So
Mm.
actually, with a lot of therapists I know, is that they have their own healing journey and their own positive experience, and then because of their experience, they start, yeah, to share it. And for me, it's actually back in 2010 where I had a important switch in my life. Before I was in corporate jobs, then I wanted to use my talents for a charity. And working for that charity, I had to go to Indonesia.
No,
Yes.
my home.
I know. And yeah, in Indonesia, I got very sick of a parasite
Mm.
in Sumatra, probably from eating something with the hands. And when I was on the emergency room in Jakarta, and they would really took care of me very well. But then there was actually, it was also my first time abroad on my own. And then this doctor who couldn't speak very well English, he said he had his paper and report and he was looking at it and he said, "Oh."
No.
So there was not such a good sign. And he said, and okay, that's it was one thing, it was the parasite, and I needed to have a lot of antibiotics. And I already know intuitive that parasite will be my little friend. And maybe that sounds ironic, but I think things happen for a reason in your life. And
Yes.
2010 was a big change for me. And so when I got back to the Netherlands, I needed more antibiotics, more, because this parasite could make holes in my large intestine. So really needed to kill the eggs from these parasites also. So,
Wow.
and of course, a lot of things when they come together, it's on different levels in life, and so it was for me also. There was a big reorganization in the company, the relationship I was in, and I was recovering from this. And although I was already in good nutrition for my own research and my own energy since 2007, so I was already then with superfoods, but I had an intuition that was really okay. I can put good food in my body, but if there is toxicity on cell level, how can this good food become in this cell? So that was more the intuition of me. So what I did at that time is I ordered something online. I did a whole kind of a week retreat for myself in cleansing the body, and I used enemas. And the funny thing why I'm laughing now is that I said then, oh, don't talk to anybody about this, not knowing that I will become an expert in a few years, and that's they asked me for. Yeah, to give lectures about it in the Netherlands on health festivals, and now I'm talking with you on different online platforms. Um, but the interesting journey for me is that was a starting point of a different journey on health level, and what I experienced from one thing came to another, that I had this first experience after that with also a colon hydrotherapist. And what I experienced is, of course it's physical, but it's still stuck in your body, and with the release of it, and you probably recognize the release of it, it was, I think most of people will remember their first treatment, and I hope for the most of them it's a good experience, because yeah, it's good that you are in good hands. So that's what I really took care of with all my clients, that feel comfortable. And what my first experience was really that, of course, yeah, you really you release shit out of your body, but it's
Yeah.
actually like, oh, such a relief of that. I For me it was former not so nice relationship, if they were really going down the drain. That's what I felt. And what I also experienced is I had several treatments, and I had migraines for about 10 years. And after the several treatments, I never had any migraine again. So, and that was my own experience. And the funny thing is, I never thought I would do this, but I really had the universe had my back, or the universe said to me, you need to do something with this. So, and that's how my own journey started. And if I do something, then I want to do it good. And so I did the one education, I did my due diligence, I did my research, and yeah, a lot of experience, of course, also in practice. And yes, that's how I actually started. So I started my own practice in 2011 then, and for most of the years in Amsterdam, where I met you.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, amazing, because for me, well, obviously I didn't have a parasite, but yeah, the story more or less is like the same, like intuitively thinking, wait a minute, I cannot absorb my vitamins and all that, but that came actually after I came to you. And I remember that I just read about it and I thought, well, let's just do it and see what it does. Because, and little did I know that there was so much to it that was like finding the holy grail. And so let me see. Hey, Scott Robinson, good to see you. And Wanderlust Kate and Detox with Tessa, see you there. Yeah, we're both in baby blue. That was not planned. Um, also, I see.
Synchronicities.
Yeah, good to see you, Matt. Dream State Wonder as well. I'm sorry I didn't see you guys in my restream, but yeah, I remember so vividly when I came for the first one. There was like nothing because I had constipation constantly, and so the second it was fine, but the third, that's when so many emotions came out. It was like the world fell off my shoulders, and I mean, that was so interesting. Only to then later, I did sessions with you. As you can remember, I was pretty, big still at the time,
Mm,
and then later on I continued doing detoxes and do enemas because I felt I needed to do that, and I only improved. But those first 6 sessions, those were like, without those I wouldn't have learned what I learned, because
mm.
that is like, because can you explain to me what is the difference between the professional one and the one you do at home, which is an enema, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good question because I do it also at home. And but the enema is only that you bring in the warm water, or you can use, for example, coffee enemas. That is only the last part of the large intestine. So you do not really clean the whole colon, but you also don't do it because in one treatment, because it has to be very soft and low pressure. And it's important to have warm water. But with the several treatments, it's kind of bringing the water inside, and step by step, it's cleaning from the inside the whole large intestine. But the enema is only the lowest part of the large intestine.
Okay,
So
so
that's a different, because also it's yeah, because you have when it's professional, you can regulate the pressure better, and you're also how you are lying. It's easier to you to release and then to fill again, and to release and then to fill again, step by step. And that's yeah, not possible like that with or more difficult with an enema.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you do it yourself at home and all that, so you need to sit up again and all that. But so because you have this machine, I remember. And yeah, this is going to be a bit detailed, guys. Here, Rainbow Snuggle Fritz, good to see you there. And Maudo, Kelly. But yeah, it's well, it's part of life, but a very crucial part of life, to be honest, especially in these times when people are, busy awakening. This is helping, as what I learned. It helps you awakening even more. You get more
Mm,
intuitive because
mm,
everything cleanses out. So can you explain?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I remember the machine, and it's very comfortable. I was like so nervous when I came the first time. I was like, oh, and then they're gonna see me in this, nothing of all that. It was
Mm,
so comfy, and I was so, I mean, really, it was amazing. And I know it comes like the water goes in, but it also comes out through a tube, and then it goes through the machine as well. So what does that indicate for you when you are working? Like, what do you, it's like the pressure, how does that make a difference, for example?
oh, okay. Yeah, that you what is your question exactly? What do you mean by the
So you said you can actually have a slower
oh, okay.
intake, and there's a certain pressure within that machine, right, that you
Mm,
hook up to. And so How does that make a difference when you would, for example, do it at home?
Oh yeah, yeah. That okay. Good question, because that was the main thing. I was always looking at the machine, of course, also the client, because the body is telling through the machine. So where as a colon hydrotherapist, I was always looking what is the body telling? Is there already some pressure? Okay, let's release, because it has to be an experience that it's as comfortable as possible. Because if you relax, then the body relaxes, then the parasympathetic system relaxes, or it's actually more active, because and then your body detoxifies better. So what maybe you remember, but how I like to start it at one point with actually my treatments is more as a head massage, because people that they are relaxed and that they kind of release, okay, nice music, and if the body is relaxed, then they can absorb the water easier. And this what is the of course we are also educated in, okay, if it's too much pressure, of course always somebody can also say, okay, this is too much. That is very important to have a conversation. But if you have more treatments, it's beautiful if somebody doesn't need to talk and really kind go into a healing session.
Yes.
And I really like what you that you share here with the people, because that's why I'm here also, just to raise consciousness about how important cleansing the body is. The colon hydrotherapy is what we are talking about now, but there are so many different ways. And I think there is a lot of consciousness about what kind of food are we eating, and it's how much toxins are in there. What do we put on our skin? Is it something you can eat also? What kind of water are we drinking? What is our mind telling us? But I think more and more now there is it's the message can go out there, raising consciousness
Yes.
about cleansing the body. And what I also experienced, because I think it came into my on my path for a reason, for
Yes.
myself, and of course because also all those years when I'm giving the treatments, it's a kind of cooperation, and so many interesting people I met. Everybody is interesting, but also famous people who don't share this
Yes.
into
Yes.
public.
You had some quite some famous people as well in your practice. And
Indeed, yeah.
yeah,
But I
and
think it's also, Jeb, what I wanted to share is that when I gave some lectures, there were some people afterwards talking to me, and they said, "Oh, did you know that Wayne Dyer, for example, did this, or that Gandhi did this?" Or, and I
really,
think, yeah. And then I had, oh yeah, of course, because what I experienced is that and it's cleansing my body. I became more in alignment in receiving it. So, learning to listen to your intuition and to have a clear mind and to follow your gut feeling. How can you follow your gut feeling if it's full of
crap.
yeah? So a clear gut.
Well,
So
no, but
yeah,
it's literally toxins within there, because I obviously
yeah.
learned in the meantime about the mucoid plaque, how that is like literally attached to the inside of the colon, and the only way to get that out is with this. And hey, Chef Matt, good to see you, and Adam. Amanda, sorry, Adam, and Filth Pig, change that name, please. Anyway, Filth Pig, actually, that's very, very adapt to today. But can you tell us? Obviously, I tried to explain all that. Can you tell us exactly what is being released and what is within our intestines that need to be that need to get out with a colon cleanse, and that you do not get out otherwise?
Um, yeah. one thing I want to say is that it's always important to follow your own intuition if this is the right thing for you. So with everything, and everybody has his own path in what is right for somebody. So be your own guru in that.
Yes.
Uh, and but what I saw in my many years of practice full time, because I didn't do it part time, and if you do it full time, I help thousands and thousands of people. And if you know, only making maybe a before picture and after picture, how they glow, how they smile again, how they it's such a difference what it makes. So what is stuff there, just imagine how many years you are eating, and the main function of the large intestine, because 80% of your vitality starts in the gut area, and it's also, of course, there's an important connection with the brain.
Yes.
So also the hormone serotonin is
Yeah.
for 80%, it's made in the large intestine. And what I almost every time saw is that if it's cleansed more, that this hormone can do its job better. And of course, and then people get more happy because there's a lot of serotonin. If I spell it right, serotonin.
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 Serotonin. Yes.
Yeah. So and I was surprised with myself, because I tried to it myself also. What is coming out after so many years? And I even had uh, um, yeah, a yoga teacher who was doing a water fast for, I think, if I remember right, 40 days, and still there things came out. So the main function of the large intestine is also absorbing water, because from the small intestine going to the large intestine, and then it's absorbing water. So then it's becoming um, yeah, massive. So uh,
Massive.
yeah,
No, dense. Dense.
dense. Yes, thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, and so, but there is and it's also a lot of mucus lay in there. So even people with when they used medicines, or even I had a lot of clients also who was really who changed their lifestyle into more really a healthy lifestyle. But when they were young, they used everything that was forbidden by God, they say in their cells. So they used drugs or everything. And they said, I really want to clean that out. So
Yeah.
I even hear that one story that something came out that somebody swallowed something when she was a child, and that came out through
Yes.
when
I
it
read
was
the same. Somebody
yeah,
had a coin in there since they were 9 years old, and it came out with a colon cleanse. And
yeah,
so I mean, but also the parasites that are within the intestines that are there, and you don't have to get per se sick from it,
no,
but
no,
it's still there. And because it is against the intestine, it gets into the bloodstream, and then it gets into your body,
yeah,
which makes people sick. So you need to get rid of it, and the only way to do that is with an intensive colon cleanse. At least for me, the first 6 sessions that I did professionally, they were essential for me, because I mean, how else could I get rid of it? And then later I
mhm,
continued at home.
yeah.
So Tessa is asking, how will we know if the mucoid plug is gone, and is this something we can do at home versus the doctors? Well, doctors not, but rather colon cleanse therapists, because that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Why do doctors do not talk about mucoid plaque? Well, we all know why, right?
Mhm,
Because it keeps people sick, and that's the whole purpose, because they don't learn about it either, is what
mhm,
I learned by now.
mhm. Yeah.
So when do you know, uh, how will you know if the mucoid plaque is gone?
Yes. um, yeah, you can have different treatments. And with professional colon hydrotherapy, you have, of course, also different methods in that. But most of them, you can also see what comes out. And at one moment, you see that it's different, that it's more clear. And of course, it's also important to listen to your own body at one more. But when you have different treatments, and then you see that it's more clearer water, or there, of course, there are, it's not all of the time what's in the beginning there. So, but it's really very personal. They always recommend at least 3 treatments, because when the water is soaking in during the treatment, you release more the second, third time.
Yeah.
But of course, it depends of the constitution, about the history, and also, I think good point that you point is that um, we have so much next level of health we have access to.
Yeah.
But I think that yeah, we got lost of the yeah, the
The
ancient
holistic,
wisdom,
yeah, the
maybe
holistic ways.
the holistic
Um,
way. Yeah.
so Brad asks, "Hey Brad, it's good to see you. Can you use Mentos and soda?" That's no, you can't. That's different. So and Filthpick is asking, I'm from Estonia, and Kaya is quite typical Estonian woman's name. May I ask where is she from? Well,
Oh,
I don't know
what?
if you want to say that.
Of course, yeah, I really like the question, because yeah, I was born in the Netherlands, but I am raised in the Netherlands, but my parents are from the Czech Republic, so my roots are yeah, are from
Yeah.
the Czech Republic. So yeah.
Yeah, that you have a beautiful name. I
Hmm.
I always thought that's not a real name, but it's actually a real name. It's like, wow, that girl has a great name, Kaja Kalina. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
let me see, there was something else. Um, so hey Brooklyn, good to see you. So there is the coffee enema, and then there is the normal one, which I had because
Hmm.
money and all that. But so what is the difference?
Oh, I'm personally, I'm really a fan of coffee enemas.
Yeah, I never
Oh,
had it.
and I will send you a document, and I will guide you through that also, because that doesn't that's a beautiful thing that doesn't cost a lot of money. You only need an enema, and you only need the right kind of coffee. And there are different coffees on the market, but what I personally use and recommend also is that, of course, organic, because there's a lot of pesticides, especially on coffees. I think it's in the top three. So
Really?
yeah. Yeah, and the main goal for a coffee enema is not cleansing the colon, but the main goal is cleansing your liver. And
Really?
yes, and that's the interesting one, because um yeah, downstairs is there is a direct link via the bloodstream going to the liver. And of
Right.
course, when your blood is circulating about 3-4 minutes through your whole body, and it's absorbing this coffee, it's normally in coffee it's used Arabica,
Yeah.
but if you I used as much as Robusta coffee beans, and there is a yeah, maybe I don't know the English word. It's called
Roast?
no, palmitinezuur. I think that's a difficult word. We have to look that.
Palm Palm tin. I do
Palmitinezuur.
see somebody saying green coffee, which I heard as well, green coffee.
Yes, indeed, but it has a different. In my opinion, what I heard, it's a different. That the green coffee will more. help inside the colon, and that what I recommend for really cleansing the liver, robusta. It's this palmitinus here, but maybe we have to find out what the English word is.
It's an acid. It's a palmitin acid.
Palmitin, probably something like, yeah.
Yeah.
But because what is doing that, it's increasing the glutathione S transferase. So the
Uh,
glutathione, and that's actually the number one detox transportation system in your body.
right.
And that's and what it really does is really cleansing the liver so much. So that's why, for example, the white in your eyes.
Yes.
That's what they say from Chinese. Yeah, but if it's more
Traditional
clear,
medicine.
you have a more clearer liver. So, and
Right.
it's also what I experience if I have the feeling like when you
Yes.
with that kind of feeling, and I did a coffee enema, then it's like, okay, it's this release, because there's a saying in Dutch, iets op je lever hebben.
Yes, having something on your liver, which is
Yes,
like something that is bothering you. I think that's
exactly.
actually in English as well. Yeah.
Yeah, of galspuien.
Yeah. Um, spewing your gall.
Gall
Yeah.
from your gallbladder, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, there are sayings in Dutch we really are spot on, because that's also the liver is connected with anger. Uh,
Really? I didn't
yeah,
know that. This is so
yeah.
interesting. Continue.
Yeah, and that's what I now think about, because also if people are doing and finding a colon hydrotherapist where they have a good thing, which resonate for them, or they have a good feeling with them, it's beautiful. As this colon hydrotherapist is also doing massage on the belly area, because
Yeah.
a lot of points in the colon are connected with different emotions. And if you have like kind of the colon like and this is downstairs, this point, so the first corner, as to say, is linked to the liver. So a lot of people, when I was doing the massage and I was touching there and it was kind of stuck, okay, is there a link with something that you are angry about or something? And if you massage it and then it's a release, then also this anger is going out of your system. So that's
Wow.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I didn't know it was that deep. Well, that's making
Mm.
everything different all of a sudden. Let me check because there are some people that have. Okay, so Maudal Kelly is saying is a hydrocolonic
Oh,
then magnesium citrate laxative detox method. No, I know for a fact that's not the same because the magnesium citrate you take it like that would be like the oxy
mm.
powder. You take that in like orally, while the hydrocolonic goes from underneath. So
Yeah,
you get like a tube within, and the therapist is putting uh, water through it with either coffee or not, and then putting up pressure and all that. So you get a literally a very intensive colon colon cleanse, which is probably the most intense cleanse there is. I
yeah.
believe because that's the first thing I did, and afterwards I would continue doing at home my own thing. But those first 6 sessions for me, they were like crucial. I'm so happy I did that, and I didn't
Mm.
even know anything about it yet when I did it.
Mm.
um Let me see. There
But
is some
how did you came to do it? What was for you the moment you decided to do that? If I may
because I
ask.
had constant constipation, and
Mm.
I wanted to get rid of that, not knowing that it did so much more than that for me, because the constipation was rather lots of stress, and but actually the whole stress, depression, anxiety was like gone for at least 70% when I did those
mm,
session with you. And so that made me like, I was flabbergasted because of that. And
mm,
so um and I noticed that I absorbed vitamins again better. Also, I started eating healthier at that point.
mm,
So um so many benefits I cannot even describe, especially what you feel the moment that colon is clean. It's like literally the world fell off my shoulders. It was, I cannot describe it any better way,
mm,
really.
yeah.
Um, so Rebecca, hi Rebecca, is asking, what is the benefit at home over time? Can it ever meet the same in office treatment? Thank you for the information. So, well, that's a question for you. If do you mean um, if you wouldn't do the professional colon cleanse, would you get the same benefit over time at home? That's
Mm,
rather her question.
mm. Um, no, I don't think so. No, unfortunately not. It's actually what you also explained, it's because it's not possible. It's difficult to really um, because if you do it with an enema, you do it at home. That's only the at one point you already feel this pressure that you want to release, and you have to go to the toilet again. So
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well, but people need to know that you're hooked up to a machine with two tubes. And so in the one, the water comes in, then she puts up the pressure so she can actually push it through the whole colon. And you
yeah,
cannot do
yeah,
that at home. And
no,
so it goes through, the whole colon gets cleansed. Well, doing that at home is impossible because the pressure gets too much and you don't have the release into the machine as she can actually regulate with that machine. So that's the
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, and
Um,
sometimes they say also one colon hydrotherapy is about 10 enemas, but still in my experience, it's really a totally different experience. So and still, of course, if people can do that at home and maybe a therapy is at that moment um maybe too expensive, so okay, benefit from that, there's always a choice, but yeah, yeah.
are there any conditions that could prevent a person from getting a colonic? Um, I don't understand that question exactly because what is explained is that over time, you ate. What I actually learned is when you eat dairy and meat, you will form mucus plaque in your
Mm,
colon. So if you start like early on, or you ate, I don't know, junk food and all that, you will build it up over time. So everybody literally has it in their colon.
mm,
And so there is not really anything to prevent uh, that mucoid plaque unless you've always been eating clean without dairy, without meat. And then there's a possibility is pretty clean. But yeah, I cannot well, that's why I always recommend it to everybody. First things to do is the colon cleanse, right? From there you can start anything else. But
yeah,
for me, a colon cleanse is like, you know,
mm,
it's almost like something that everybody should do standard. But
mm,
unfortunately I see it's getting more popular and therefore it's getting more expensive too.
mm,
So that is a bit of a
mm.
problem.
Yeah,
um
and I want to add also one thing to that, because the kind of protection system of your body is when it has a lot of toxicity in it, is to store that on cell level or on fat cells.
oh,
Yeah,
that explains so much. This is
exactly.
this is
Yeah.
why I never could lose weight after the colon cleanses and I did my own enemas. I never gained weight anymore, and detoxes obviously, but I lost the weight with the detoxes, but because of the colon cleanse, I never gained the weight back ever,
Oh,
ever since I lost it.
oh,
And that
beautiful.
was
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah, because you give your body actually a signal, I can now release toxicity from my body, from the fat cell. So your body can release it. So it's not only in the colon, but it's on more actually, because this is a beautiful system, and it's
Yeah.
of course it's actually natural way of detoxifying, but how we live is I call it's a toxic soup.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah,
bad scenario, but it is.
it
And
is.
so that's why it's, I think, so important that for people to get their own power back, to get their own vibrant energy back, is that they detoxify, and it's on yeah, how they find out how they want to do it, because there are different ways, but that the consciousness about if you cleanse, you have a clearer mind, you make clearer, better decisions in your what is good for you. And when you do what's good for you, you can follow your heart, you can follow your gut feeling, you get a better life,
Yes,
and that you become more happy. And that is how you make this step. So I think it's
exactly.
all connected with one another.
So Brooklyn asked, what does she suggest for people who are new to colon therapy to eat in the days ahead as a
Hmm.
means of preparing the body for the best result? So,
Okay. Yeah, very good question. I would always, because when you do your colon cleanse, I think the colon hydrotherapist will also explain it to you, because it's important to have that preparation. Um, Normally, I advised no fish, no meat, more drinking water. So it doesn't has to be harsh, because life can be tough. So don't be too harsh on yourself, but prepare your body in more liquids, and less heavy, or for example bread or pastas or that kind of thing, so more vegetables and fruits, so that you make
exactly.
it already a bit light. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember doing that as well, actually, before I I was rather, I had so much anxiety. I had my agoraphobia full on when I came, so I was obviously not relaxed. That's why it took for the third time, but I had other people recommend it. I recommended it to other people. They went and they were like amazed. They said, "Oh my gosh, the stuff that came out and the way I feel for the first time. I sleep normal again.
Mm,
I wake up and I'm not tired. I smile again, stuff like that, and I hear it over and over again. And I keep recommending it, the first thing always, because the benefits of this is pretty much uh starting to cleanse 101, because
mm,
everything starts with the colon and the gut, right?
mm. Yeah. Yeah, but if somebody has a lot of inflammation in the colon, that's what I wouldn't recommend doing that. Or when you are pregnant or breastfeeding, that I wouldn't recommend colon hydrotherapy. Yeah. So that if
So
it's a lot of inflammation, so it's always very important. It's not making an appointment and you do a colon cleanse. If all the therapists I know and how I did it is that they really have an intake and check and ask and have a really good conversation first before you do,
yeah,
and that it's all explained to you, and that you feel comfortable and understand how it how it works, but not only how it works, but also really, what that's need to be checked. Is this the right thing for you at this moment? And most of the time it is, but at some points, also when I had a feeling, or it's of course my knowledge, but also intuition, that I think maybe something else can help you more with what somebody needs. I think that's also professional to do.
So
Yeah.
how does somebody know whether it's inflammation? There's inflammation because they might have it without knowing.
No, but then they have really they feel that
Oh,
is yeah, that they yeah, it's very painful. Yeah.
okay. So, Filth Pig is saying, will spicy food diet have some cleansing effect?
Well, parasites don't like spicy. So that's a good thing of
They come
garlic
out
and chili
sneezing.
peppers and
This is why all these Asian people are so thin, because they eat a lot of spicy.
oh,
I
that's an
think.
interesting one. I'm not sure if that's the only reason. I think it's how they eating habits are maybe also more regular during the day. Um, I think, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure
well,
about it.
now I know why you have that name, Filth Pig. I imagine pooping napalm every day because of spicy food will flush some things out. That's so funny. Yeah, we can be
Yeah.
joke, we can always joke about this stuff, but at the end of the day, this is about our lives. It's about our health. It's also about, awakening. People,
Mm,
when
mm,
you are stuffed with all those parasites and toxins and stuff within your gut, within your liver, you do not uh, awaken on the spiritual level either, because
mm-hmm.
you're just closed off. And I remember that distinguished difference the moment I did my first professional colon cleanses. I started like, it went up from there. Everything went up from there. It's like my brain was clear again, and I could make decisions better. I finally started doing everything healthy, and I went for it, and literally that was the start for me. And only now that I look back, I actually realize it was literally the start for me, for every decision that I made after. And it was
Wow.
amazing how much I changed. And I've done a video on my journey, and it literally started with that colon cleanse that I did with you. And so, you know,
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing. So,
Wow. Yeah, I wrote down a one liner I want to share with you. The more detoxified your body is, the more vibrant you become.
true. Oh, that's
Yeah.
another thing indeed, because the radiance, the skin start looking amazing afterwards as well. I was amazed by that too. I never knew there was so much related to it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that when we learn about it more and more, actually, the more things become common sense, but it's not
Yes,
common practice, and that's the interesting part of it because our like going to the toilet, but breathing and our skin, it's that's where it releases toxicity. So if
yes.
you're cleaner from the inside, or maybe you have a bad breath, you can have peppermints. Well, what is going on inside?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what many people don't question, right? Because they don't search for it there. Why? Because we were never taught. Doctors do not even talk about it. And they actually even deny the existence of mucoid plaque.
Mm.
Well, I've seen pictures from people having like meters long of mucoid plaque coming out of them. And, it's amazing that, there's not talked about it. Well, actually, it's not that amazing, is it? I mean, we
And
literally
it's in
know.
so many cultures, and it's in it's even in the old Egyptian, yeah, in Dutch it's called oude Egyptische papyrusrollen. So old Egyptian, I have
Scrolls, the scrolls,
scrolls.
yeah.
Yeah, is it's written down also about the enemas and cleansing the colon. So it's for centuries, and in the Ayurveda. It's a very important part. It's cleansing the body, and in so many cultures, of course, of not eating and fasting, it's already also, yeah, going more into the inside, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
that it's all related, and I find it interesting that all these things are coming up now, like monatomic gold, silver again. Everything that was in that in these ancient times are all coming back now, and uh,
mm,
with a reason, right?
mm,
So let me see. There was, oh, so the question is, do we just look up colonic clinics to go to in our area, and how much do they generally cost? Well, I see many different prices really, but at the time when I did it, it was 75 per session, and now it's already 175 euro per
mm,
session,
mm,
which is like more than doubled. So that's how popular it is becoming, because people really do know. However, I do not in the United States. You do have packages with it. I would suggest to go to one in your area. Absolutely, Mark. Yeah. And you don't per se need six of them. I mean,
mm,
start with, I don't know, three or something. Just see how it goes, and then you can do the rest at home if you cannot afford
mm,
doing that many, right? Also, for those that want to know, look up mucoid plaque on Google and check out the pictures, then you know what we're talking about. Be prepared for something really disgusting, but it's literally like rubber,
mm.
is what I understood and what it looks like. Um, will colonic help someone get back on track who normally eats well but self-medicated depression with cheese and chocolate all winter? Asking for a friend. Hey, Jeanette. Um, well, you
I
can.
think that's a question for you.
Um, Yes, it absolutely will help somebody back on track. It will help you actually more than back on track. And probably you do not need to medicate anymore with cheese and chocolate, because you're going to feel so much better. I mean, literally, there is no, I had to lower my antidepressants because my body start making those serotonin again. And it was all stuck. It couldn't get to my brain, so I started tapering down from my antidepressants after my colon cleanse. So definitely makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about interesting YouTube. I think it's on YouTube film. There's a Chinese doctor, and it's not about colon cleanse, but it shows the with the camera the inside of the large intestine. You remember? And maybe that's interesting to share with your audience, because
Yes.
then it's showing the before and after good or healthy nutrition,
Yeah.
and drinking the right water, and what the difference that makes, but also of course the results of the health of that person. I think that's also very interesting
Yeah.
to
I
show.
have to look it up, and then I will put it in the description of the video on YouTube, because obviously on D Live and Twitch I cannot do that. But
Mm,
and then I will post it in there, because I remember very well what you meant. Because before I came to you, I actually researched that, and that was what I was looking at. It's a Chinese doctor that is showing literally with a camera inside the gut, and then after it's cleaned, and I will definitely search it. And then if it's still out there, I will put it in the description of the video. So
mhm.
yeah, just help me remember that.
Yeah.
After how many sessions do you feel or see a difference? Well, you don't see so much a difference as you feel it. That differs per person. For me, it took a bit, because I had a lot of anxiety, like going there. because of agoraphobia. So for me, I was really tense. So it took a little bit, but I heard from somebody else that had it the first time already. So much of that mucoid plug coming out. He said it was about, what did he say? 13 pounds? Is that even possible? 13 pounds? I think he said that. Yeah, 13 pounds came out. And he was like amazed. But he actually sent me a message 2 weeks later and he says, I cannot thank you enough because I sleep normal again. I wake up before my alarm clock. I don't wake up with like really tired. I laugh again and I feel my anxiety is gone. And I was like, I know. you know
Mm,
and he said like, I wish I did this earlier because literally, it's worth the money. That's what I can say.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
muket plug, not plug, bread. It's called mucoid plug. Here it is. That's what it's called. Mucoid plug. um John Wayne has 40 pounds when he died. Huh? I don't know what that means.
Anyway.
Oh, you mean in his intestine? That's very possible.
Oh,
This is why I no
oh.
longer eat white anything unless pasta, and even then, wallpaper glue in the intestines. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
Mm.
brilliant.
And yellow cheese.
Well, all cheeses are yellow, aren't they?
Oh, you have white cheese from the goat.
Oh, goat cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goat cheese. But on that film, what we just talked about, that's what they say there was a woman. She was eating a lot of yellow cheese, and that's what you really also see in the inside of the colon.
That makes actually sense because it's a bit rubbery.
Yeah, and it's better to digest if you eat cheese, for example, goat cheese, because yeah. And what I also normally we have the saying a lot of people know is you are what you eat, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
but you because your skin is replacing and your liver is replacing, so your everything you eat will become you. But I like to say that's saying more like you are what you digest,
Yes. That makes so much
because
sense. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's and that's why it's important that you help your digestion, or give it support, and not only, oh, what I take in, and I really become conscious about, okay, I have to support this because it's doing
Yes.
really good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot, I mean, I cannot tell people enough how important this cleanse is. She asked, Kelly is asking, is it safe for someone with Crohn's disease?
Mm. That's where one of the when somebody has Crohn, I didn't do a colon hydrotherapy. I didn't do the treatment. No, for me that's a no go. But I do know a friend of mine actually. I'm living now somewhere else, and I didn't have my practice now anymore. But they also raised their interest about health and cleansing, and that they wanted to do a colon hydrotherapy. So I went with them to a very good therapist here in the neighborhood. But I really wanted to be sure because he had the same disease, but with good nutrition, he healed himself. So it was also shown that there was no inflammation there anymore. So I was still careful. How is the therapy? Is it okay for him or not? So and for him it was okay to do, but he has didn't had any inflammation. So I wouldn't recommend it. First, the
Yeah.
inflammation has to really, yeah, and then you have to go to the doctor and to check that, yeah, and treat it with good nutrition. Yeah.
Oh, Humi was asking that. Um, you guys are cracking me up in this chat on D Live, especially bread. Bread, stop that. Also, cheese is very addictive. Is that? I mean, because obviously we are a cheese country, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
if you look in the US, they have, I don't know what's it called again, the yellow cheese that looks like plastic. Um, that you guys put on a
Cheddar cheese.
cheddar. Yeah,
Yeah.
cheddar. Is that even cheese? It looks like plastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can be, that can be like cheese. It's weird stuff, really. But we are a cheese country, so yeah, it really doesn't matter, because I still wonder sometimes when I see like the best cheeses, and I'm like, I don't know, it looks so plasticky, so
Mm-hmm.
and I always wonder what they put in there other than whatever needs to go in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Filth Pig is saying it ain't cheese, it's some synthetic crap. Yeah, I thought so. There is cheddar is definitely synthetic. It looks literally like plastic to me. It tastes nice though, but yeah, that's usually the thing. And also, if you do a detox and you do colon cleanses, then the craving for all that crap is
Mm-hmm.
pun intended, is also less um persistent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Brooklyn says, my yoga teacher took it one further. David Life says, you are what you don't shit. A good point, because the rest is remaining in your body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
And also for all the people, it's it's free health information. If you went to the toilet and you look what you left behind,
yeah.
that's just Google on the Bristol stool chart and see what how's it look like, and because
What's it called?
that's Bristol stool chart.
Bristol, Bristol stool chart.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. So check that out. Oh, sorry, it's stool with Stool. I
Oh,
did
oh, yeah.
stole. Anyway, so check that out and make sure you always check your poo, because it's important. You need to
Yes.
do that because, this is the probably the most important part of your body that needs to be cleansed. And, for me, it also, I noticed, because for me, it started with an infection, and I figured I need to do a detox. But I
Mm,
was already doing the colon cleanse. I did that already, and then I did the enemas at home.
mm,
And because I was doing that detox, I lost that much weight. But now my body was actually able to completely heal that wound, because there was nothing my body had to fight anymore,
mm,
because with all the toxins within your intestine, your body is constantly working so hard to get rid of those toxins, which they don't get rid of. And then they
mm,
go in the bloodstream, and then people are
mm,
surprised we have all these diseases. But do
mm.
you believe that most diseases are coming from whatever is there in our intestines and in our colon?
Yeah, that's what they say. About 80% of diseases they start in your belly, in
Yeah,
your gut. I like to change it to the positive. 80% of your vitality and your health is starting in your gut.
that's
But
a good one.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's
And
definitely.
actually, also Tony Robbins. I know he has unleashed the power within, and he has date with destiny, but also a week of health mastery, I think it's called. And yeah, of course, then at that time there was still the events. but people were it was possible for them to do colon cleanse also there. So it became also he raised the consciousness a lot about that. So when he had an event, people were coming back. Then the practices were more more busy even.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Well,
that's also for a
I've noticed
reason
I've
to
noticed this.
empower yourself. It sounds maybe strange, but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, everything for me lifted off with that, and I never could imagine everything was related. And I woke up even more, and I was I was so in tune with myself. My intuition started
Mm,
becoming so strong. So Brooklyn is
yeah.
asking, can you talk about some of the detox symptoms that one may experience as well? Ask if pro and prebiotics are good to take uh, after to keep. I I don't know what "emd" means, but after to keep the flora balanced. So yeah,
Mm, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question because there are some colon hydrotherapists that they, after the treatments, that they use probiotics at the end, so that it will support your good gut flora, microbiome, and but there is the balance between good bacteria and bad bacteria is about 80%, 20%. So we need both. So it's but yeah, of course um, that's a whole subject about probiotics, and I think it's good also to, for example, eat fermented food so that you get it to support your yeah, also your good health gut flora with fermented foods. I think that's a very easy one and very effective also. Yeah.
right.
But did
So
it answer the question of her?
um, yeah, and can you talk about some of the detox symptoms that one may
Mm,
experience as well?
mm. Yeah, but that's also very, very personal. But
Yeah,
if I look back with yeah, when normally when you do, for example, juicing or fasting, then you have more, I think, more detox symptoms than with colon hydrotherapy. I think what I saw with clients is that maybe afterwards, so many things happened on different levels
yeah,
that kind of they maybe had to ground themselves so that they relax. I give them something to drink or a cup of tea, so just that
yeah,
they because a lot happened. But um yeah, I think it's 8 or 9 of times out of 10 that it was all okay, okay. But of
yeah.
course, somebody can have maybe headaches, or the digestion is different because it has to rebalance in your body again. But I think it's what I experience less than with other ways of kind of yeah,
Detoxes.
detoxifying. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have no negative or symptoms
No.
whatsoever. If anything, with every session I had, my smile went bigger and bigger and bigger, and I became lighter and lighter and lighter, and I became happier and happier. So I only have good things about it, and for as what
Mm,
I heard from others that have done it as well.
yeah.
So and Sarah just did his wealth mastery this weekend
Oh,
from uh
wow.
yeah, good for
Cool.
you, girl. Um
Go, girl.
but yeah, Brett asked, describe how it feels when you get one. Well, really, you feel I remember just that it actually you don't feel it really at all. It's because the water temperature is like is the same as the body, and so you don't feel that. The only thing you may feel at a certain point is this pressure, and at the
Mm,
end of the session, which takes an hour, I believe.
Maximum 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember then you said, okay, you can go to the toilet now, and I mean, then she removes the thing, you go to the toilet, and oh my God, that's yeah.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, nothing. It didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I don't recall any weird feelings. It was not. Um, yeah, of course you feel it, but not like, something that actually, the fact that I can't even remember, it means it's not significant.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right?
and I'm very happy that, especially also what I know in the Netherlands, there's very good education, professional. So it's very, they do it very professional. But of course, like with every treatment or therapist or um, a, a check where if it's also combined with we call it in Dutch, we have, that this profession beroepsgroep.
Oh
So
yeah, we have the like uh yeah, a special uh what you call that, like organizations
yeah,
for profession,
yeah.
for different professions. So if you are part of that organization, then you are legit, is kind of how
Mm-hmm.
I can
Mm-hmm.
remember the word for it. But yeah, they are on a governmental level, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once you are a part of that organization, then they are legit. I
Mm-hmm.
do believe it's kind of a certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
you are a well-trained person
yeah,
in your profession. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let me see if I can find something. Um, there is, because I've been holding the chat, so I couldn't see any new questions. Uh, Yeah, it's becoming quite expensive, but I understand why, because, and I'm thankful that, first of all, my insurance covered it, because I had this
Mm-hmm.
package for alternative therapy, and at the same time it was still not that ridiculously expensive. So I came
Mm-hmm.
right before that wave of people doing all that, right? And
Mm.
I'm glad that, because it was after me you got all those celebrities. if if I was before the celebrity or after celebrities, it would have been beep, you know.
You don't know because I didn't talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't tell me who the celebrities are. Although I do know one, but yeah, that's well, I'm not gonna say either. Because some celebrities are celebs also in the rest of
Mm.
the world, here in Holland. But yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
not gonna talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was very interesting. We've been already here for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Amazing how quick the time is going. Is there anything that you want to add to this information that people need to know, that might make them feel that
Well,
they need to know?
I'm curious about feedback, or how did they think was interesting, or how did they have a different view on it, or because I'm curious about that, and I think it's go your own path in researching it, and also follow your gut feeling and your intuition. If there's something resonates for you in this, that you think, okay, maybe be open-minded, and because of course people are I can watch this from all over the world, and but also where you make an appointment, that you have a good feeling that he or she is doing it in a nice way, really taking care time in a soft way, because I think people, it's a part of that you are vulnerable, and you have to
Yeah,
feel safe, and that you have to feel in good hands, and I think that's an important basis.
yeah,
And that's because yeah, with something like this, I think that's important to have a very nice experience. And yeah, just and it helps with healthy aging, because that's, we didn't mention it, but I yeah, you look
actually,
great.
remember when you, because we were in touch again since recently, since Easter, and she goes like, "Holy crap, you look so young," because we haven't seen each other. I can remember when I did it was in 2015 maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And you were like, "Oh my God, you look so much younger." And that's true because, that's where it started. I looked
Mm.
like much older when I was 40. I'm now 52 almost. And
52.
yeah,
Wow. I'm
yeah.
48.
Yeah, well, these days that's
Wow.
it. A healthy foods keeps us looking young, right? Apparently,
Mm.
and you too, because you've been in that stuff longer than I did, but
Mm.
it's definitely visible, and it does keep us younger by eating good foods and all that, and
Mm.
yeah, I need to do my detoxes again. I haven't been very consistent with them lately, but I'm going to go. Obviously, before the summer, I always do a good detox. So I was
Mm.
thinking maybe in some months, or maybe after the summer months, we could do a call in show with you, and then have people call in how their experience was, because
Oh,
that would be very interesting to share, and also for other people to learn about it. But
exactly.
especially for people that can share how their experience was, but then you can be there actually to guide them as to if it was
Mm.
appropriately done or not, because
Mm.
I think it's important to know,
Mm.
because everybody's obviously different, and every therapist. So
Mm.
it's very important to keep tabs on what is good and what is not, so
Mm.
people know what to look for when they go find a therapist. So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody is gonna watch this video. Please let me know afterwards, or contact me, or my email is in the about section, or find me on Telegram. So by the time we get the call in show, probably
Mm.
after the summer, then people can share their experience. And
Yeah.
Brad, I expect you haven't done one. Then you can do the Mentos and soda one. Just don't let it explode, because seriously, they can be good.
No, and just one thing to share. If you do enemas at home, of course, use your, not only your common sense, but what is very, very important is that the temperature of the water have to be body temperature, and of course not boiling water or something like that, because
I
then
made
the
that mistake
crazy
once.
stories go around. It can, but really, Google on it, find good blogs about it, how to do it properly, take time to prepare it well, and not just like, oh, like ever, just hush
Yeah.
hush like that. So, but the temperature of the water, and of course the quality of the water, is absolutely vital. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I
Because if it's too cold, then the colon will doesn't like that, and it will cramp, and it will yeah,
yeah,
it wants to
I
go out
always check
again.
it with my
Exactly.
wrist,
Yeah.
but I one time I was in a hurry and I didn't check it, and it was way too hot, and oh my gosh, did I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not yeah, a good thing.
Yeah.
For those that want to actually see one do at home, I always recommend the detox dudes. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's the Detox Dudes. It's actually one dude, but his videos, you have to scroll back a bit, but he did one actually on YouTube. Obviously, you're not going to see the result. Well, actually, he's going to show the results at the end, so be prepared for that. But Detox Dudes is actually explaining a lot about it. He also has a lot of um, things that he uses for his colon cleanses that he does at home. So for those that want to know about that, go check it
Mm,
out. Just know it's not the same as doing the professional one, as she explained, because it will not reach the whole colon. And that's
mm,
why I recommend at least do a professional one, maybe 3 session at least. So, and then you can continue maybe doing it at home with enemas because,
mm.
um, well, yeah, that's what you probably
Yeah.
would suggest as well, right?
Mm, yeah, and not because it was my profession, but it's the experience of thousands of people what I saw, and I think what we want to share here is really our honest opinion and to support others in this. So I think it's important that if to share also when somebody's listening this afterwards or have great input or ideas. I think you help a lot of people raising not only consciousness but a vibration, a frequency, all of so I think that's important that we share a lot, and yeah, if and because we all can learn from each other always. It's
Yeah.
an ongoing
I I
ride.
will definitely try to maybe when you can send me a link about the coffee that you can use, or people can research it for themselves, because I definitely gonna do that. I haven't done it for a long time, so time to do it again. And what I usually do, I just go lie on my bathroom floor and I hang the thing on a cabinet knob, and so it's high enough. And then though in Holland mostly the toilets are separated from your bathroom, thank God my toilet is next to the bathroom. But then I literally, the moment that I'm ready to go to the toilet, I have to run, but yeah,
Yeah.
most people cannot manage that, so they actually, if you have like a large space in front of your toilet, then you can actually have like one of those things. But check out the Detox Dudes, because he explains definitely a lot about it,
Mm,
how he does it. He even shows it. So yeah, it's
mm,
and
great.
he's having a lot of fun with it too. But it's time we talk about this stuff because it's important. So
Mm-hmm.
is there anything that where people can find you if they want to know something? What are you doing now at this moment? Because
Oh.
that's actually important too, right? Because you quit doing the colon cleanses, so
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, because it was more circumstances in my life, and I moved a lot, and I also went abroad, so it was for me not possible anymore. So it was a lot of pain in my heart that I needed to let that go, but there are also reasons for that.
yes,
And the interesting thing is because indeed this to do colon hydrotherapy is it's I wouldn't say maybe a small audience because in Amsterdam, that I didn't do any marketing, and it was because of the results people had that it was people talked about it. But what I now for myself use and also see it's more easy for a lot of people is that I use nutritional intermittent fasting. So
yes,
it supported intermittent fasting that detoxifies heavy metals, that detoxifies plastic in your body. And this is something that I can do on a very regular basis in my life. So step by step, it's very a nice way of doing and also very effective. And I think it's not one or the other, but it's something what I see that a lot of I support a lot of people in that, and that it's easy to do. And then if people have more question or are ready for that, then I can share some other methods of detoxify of to detox your body, and then I
That's a
can
great
show.
idea. We can
Yeah.
actually do another interview about proper detoxes and what you, because I've done some myself, but
Mm,
based on my research, but obviously you have much more knowledge about it. So it would be great if we can do another interview and talk about detoxing.
mm,
And, because I know you're working also with new products and maybe we can insert that there as well, because that would be really great. I do definitely think that after you've done a first normal detox, you can do a heavy metal detox because those are very heavy. And you should never start with a metal detox because
mm,
that's too heavy for a first detox.
mm,
So I would recommend the colon cleanse, and from there you go do a detox. You can actually combine the two, and then the rest you can do at home. It's just one investment there, and then after that you will invest in good foods and
mm.
right, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Just one thing to add. When I remove my mercury from the mercury
From
fillings
your
in my mouth,
Yeah.
I think then it's very important that you detox from heavy metals. But it's really something different. And there's a good blog from Dr. Mercola about heavy metal detoxing because that's something. Yeah, it took me
Is
for
that
much
Italian?
longer. Mercola, if I say it right.
Is it Mercola?
I was fine. Um,
Is it with a C?
yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
Dr. Mercola.
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah. Then
check.
heavy metal detox, and then some. Yeah,
Yeah, so Dr.
I think
Doc.
it's mercola.com.
Oh, that's
Uh,
great.
if I, oh, I'm not just checking it also.
Heavy metal
Yeah,
detox.
yeah,
Just look it up and you find his website and have some information over there.
yeah.
However, if you've never done any detox or colon cleanses, then don't start with that. I would suggest
Mm,
because
mm.
that's the next step up, right?
Yeah,
Actually,
because indeed, sorry, yeah.
no, I
Uh,
still have to do one. Actually, I've never
okay,
done the heavy metal detox.
yeah. And also because you have also liver cleanses of Andreas Moritz. And what he also advised, what I think is very, very important, is if you do that, you start also with colon cleansing. Why? Because you have, if you remove gallstones from your liver and it's
Yeah.
going through your colon and it's stuck there, then you have too much toxicity there. It needs to go out. So it's always combined with colon hydrotherapy.
Because I hear from people, some people that have like chronic gallstones. These what are these stones called, guys? Because I don't know them in English anymore. Well,
Mm,
in any case, those stones, right, that we talk about.
mm.
So, what is the cause for that?
De oorzaak bedoel je van galstenen?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of things. Also, I think that's also a protection of your body in the toxicity all stuck together. So I there's a if you read the book, there's a whole page about all the causes. It's food. It's your mind. It's even I think it's even watching TV. What he explains.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. I'm so totally gonna dive into that because you know what?
Mm,
We can't learn enough about this stuff, really,
mm,
especially in these times, waking up is what we do, right?
mm, mm,
So, well, you're certainly going to be back, and we're going to talk about more detox for those
mm.
that are interested, and I'm sure they are because, as I can see for the comments, it's yeah, is very interesting for people. Um,
Oh.
Guys, I thank you all so much for being here, and my mods, but especially you for explaining
Mm,
everything, and
mm,
being back in my life as well, and
mm,
as my
mm,
friend this time.
yes.
And yeah, it's oh wait, everybody, here is a link to Nicole Frolick's parasite cleanse that she just talked about on her last show. Oh, that's a good one too. I didn't know that
Mm,
actually. I haven't seen it yet. Been a bit busy this week, but yeah, check it out, guys. Also, there is Alexia. I will have on as well. She knows a lot about parasites. That's where Nicole Frolic did her interview with, actually. So
mhm,
yeah, that will come too. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and explaining everybody what they need to know.
mm,
Also, people go follow me on D Live because we don't know how long we will be here on YouTube. Let me get quickly that chest done for those that are waiting for it. Here it comes, guys. Oh, wait, hang on. There, distributing. There it comes. Thank you.
And I just want to say very thank you not only for inviting me, but our path crossed and asking a lot of all your audience that they send so much love to you because the work you do behind the scenes and it's 2:30 in the in the night for us, but I have to say I'm in good energy because if you like what you do it never feels like working. But I really respect in uh, just hearing this. I think it's last week that we got really in touch again, and what you are doing. So much respect for you, and
Thank you.
yeah, just so everybody who's seeing this, please give her a lot of love, Patricia, because she's doing
Oh.
a really big job. Yeah,
Thank you. That's so
yeah.
sweet. And yeah, it is it's hard work, but it's worth it because we are the ones that need to wake everybody up, and it needs to, teach people. And I know you do that too in our country. And I happen to have all these viewers from America, and it all started out with politics, but yeah, here I am, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, and people are thanking you here in the chat as well
Oh,
for
oh,
coming.
so nice. Thank you very much. You're so nice
Yes.
audience.
Well, she will be back, everybody. And so, for those that are going to watch this later after the live, then, if you have any questions, whatever, leave it in the comments below. And I will, work with whatever you've got to say. And maybe I can ask Kaya if she has an answer to questions that I don't have an answer to. So,
Hmm.
thank you so much. Thank you, my mods, for throwing in the links and all.
Hmm.
And we will see each other very soon again. Actually, I'm
Okay.
back on Thursday. Probably. I'm not sure. I'm not going to confirm yet. Actually, I'm not going to say yet with who. Just check my Telegram. And but yeah, I have another guest on Thursday. So uh, good night, everybody. Peace out. Thank you all.
Bye bye.
Let me see. I need to get out of here.